Hello and welcome to another episode of the Cantina of Comics.
Today we're going to show you how to make a drink that's named after the most well-known Jedi in the galaxy.
And we're getting to the end of War of the Bounty Hunters. Welcome to the Cantina of Comics. I'm Matt.
And I'm Kristi.
And today we're doing a very interesting drink. Now, this is a drink that I've heard about, but I've never actually had before. Tell us what we're making.
We're making the Alabama Slammer.
Okay, but we are calling it the...
Skywalker Slammer.
There we go.
I have this song, Fancy Like by Walker Hayes, stuck in my head, and it's the Alabama Slammer on my Dixieland light. That's how we do, how we do.
Yeah.
Fancy like.
I don't think they have Applebee's on Tatooine. So.
They might. Oh, good question. Do they have anywhere on Tatooine that you can go for appetizers half price after 9?
I don't know. We'll have to find out. To take a look at. Okay, so what do we need to make a Skywalker Slammer?
Well, first, I wanted to tell you, this drink calls for gin.
Okay.
Which I've never had before.
Okay.
And I was a little worried about whether we would like it or not. So just in case, I'm sure you all know there's a section in the liquor store called Smallies.
Smallies?
Yes.
Okay.
So also I was not too sure about the Southern Comfort. Okay. So I went ahead and got Smallies of the Southern Comfort, which is a whiskey, and the gin. Now gin, from what I'm reading here, vodka and gin are very much alike.
Okay.
So vodka is a neutral spirit, essentially containing water and alcohol that is tasteless. Okay. While gin offers distinguishing herbal notes that come from 8 different herbs used to realize its predominantly juniper-led flavor as a central part.
So it tastes like a tree?
Yeah, so like when we were chopping down our juniper trees
last week.
This is what this is going to
We smelled like we reeked of gin. No,
yeah, I was just kind of curious about it, and I didn't buy a big bottle just because I wasn't sure if we would like it or not, or how often we would be using it. Whoops. So we're going to take 1 ounce. I think we should double this recipe. So we're going to do...
By the way, please notice the Darth Tater shot glass
from Mr. Scott Crowther.
Yes, thank you, Scott, for
Shout
this.
out to Scott.
And if you're ever in Idaho, there's, especially like in the bigger cities, there are gift shops that you'll be able to find the Darth Tater product line, including like plushies and t-shirts. Yeah, and it's actually started in Boise.
Oh, really?
This whole Darth Tater thing. And at first there's kind of like, ooh, you're infringing on you know, intellectual property, but they let them have this.
Star Wars was like, yep, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we're going to do 1 ounce, 2 ounces each. Okay. Southern Comfort, gin, and Amaretto.
Okay.
You're doing the pouring today, huh?
Apparently I am.
This is new.
So let's see. Because it's 1 ounce to make 1 drink, right? Yes. Okay. So there's your Southern Comfort. And here comes the gin.
Whoa!
Ooh, that is a generous pour. Okay.
All right.
2nd ounce of gin.
There we go. It's hard to see because it's clear.
And finally,
Amaretto.
Amaretto. So, okay, there's 1. And then after these are poured in, we have 1 more ingredient, don't we?
We do. So the recipe calls for orange juice, but it says that you should use fresh squeezed orange juice. So, let me have that back, please. I have fresh squeezed some orange juice, which Matt threatened to drink earlier. So we're going to do 4 ounces of this. Okay. And by the way, this is 6 oranges.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So it doesn't take it takes a whole lot of orange to make the juice. So,
okay.
All right.
So now that we have it all poured into a cocktail shaker, we do the shaky part. What was that Walker Hayes song you were singing?
Alabama Slammer and my Dixieland delight. Hey, that's how we do, fancy like.
Dinner and a show, folks.
Okay, let's see. And then I learned a really cool way to do an orange wedge.
Okay.
To decorate the drink with.
Thank you.
And I think from now on I can use it for the line wedges as well.
Top me off. Thank you.
You might as well use it all, right? That's my theory.
Yep.
Okay, so if you take your orange wedge and you split.
Oh, kind of like along the wedge, in between the wedge and the pulp.
And then I also took and did the same with the cherries.
So
that way we won't
now
lose
we're fancy like Applebee's.
the drink.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So it's pretty, and it won't sink to the bottom.
Yeah. All right, so there it is, a Skywalker Slammer.
What do you smell?
I smell oranges, and I think I smell the gin.
I smell the Amaretto.
And the Amaretto?
I think.
Okay.
And the cherry.
All right, well,
here we go.
Bottoms up.
So tacky. Ready?
Okay.
There we go.
That's a little bit better. Okay, Skywalker Slammer. That's pretty interesting.
I think I taste the gin.
Yeah.
Because it's a new flavor to me.
Yeah. It's kind of a secondary effect because you get it and instantly you have the oranges.
Yeah.
And then the alcohol starts to, kind of take effect on the back of the tongue.
Interesting. Yeah, I definitely taste
I think
the gin.
that's the numbing process.
I think I am glad I went with this Smalley on the gin.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something I would drink regularly.
All the time?
Yeah. By the way, you know how they sell like little different rings you can put around the bottom of your drink or whatever to say like this is Matt's drink, he's purple or whatever. This is Kristi's drink. Just in case
I don't know if you can see all the lipstick on it.
Lipstick.
Mine just has chapstick, so you can't really see it.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's delicious. I like that. All right, so that's how you make a Skywalker Slammer. And coming up, we're going to talk about War of the Bounty Hunters, a new issue from Marvel Comics. And we're going to talk about saving money when you take a trip to Galaxy's Edge. That's coming up. Welcome back to the Cantina of Comics. Today we're talking about one issue. This is Bounty Hunters issue number 16. This is War of the Bounty Hunters Shadow Soldiers. This issue is written by Ethan Sachs with art by Palio Villanelli and colors by Arif Peranto. It's a race against time as Valance and Dengar are trying to save Han Solo from Jabba the Hutt while at the same time trying to get the bounty on Boba Fett. Meanwhile, Taonga, Lasha, and Tasu Leech are with Zuckuss trying to find Valance. They think Zuckuss is using grand magic to find them, when in reality the bounty hunter has planted trackers on all his competitors' ships, including Dengar's. Valance and Dengar land on the ice planet Jakara, where a fellow bounty hunter Bosk has been tied up and left behind by Boba Fett. They then have a quick confrontation with Fett that sees Valance team up with Fett, and that leaves Dengar stranded on a block of ice floating on the planet. Tonga and crew find Bosk as he unwillingly becomes a part of that crew. And finally, Dengar is left on that floating block of ice when the giant creature rises up out of the water. And then he's saved by the recently introduced Death Stick. And now here are my quick takes on Bounty Hunters issue number 16. Paolo Villanelli's pages have been getting better and better in this series. He was good before, and this issue has some of his best work. This issue sees a lot of allegiances change, and since this is the final Bounty Hunters issue within the War of the Bounty Hunters storyline, this issue sets up the bounty teams moving forward. We get to see a new creature called a Zugarak, and it's something that you don't want to mess with. Now, what did you think of Bounty Hunters number 16? You can go to utini.com/Discord and then click on SW Comics. And if you can't get enough Star Wars comics in your life, then check out the Cosmic Force podcast every Wednesday at youtube.com/Utini. And welcome back to the Cantina Comics. Now, we're in a countdown phase. We are from the time you're seeing this, from the time this video comes out, we're 1 month away from taking a trip to Disney World, Florida. I can't believe it's all, I mean, this has been in the planning stages
for a couple years now.
Couple years.
2020 kind of put a ringer in it.
Yeah. To go see Galaxy's Edge and all the things that Walt Disney World has to offer. And so we thought we'd, in your studies, in your investigations, Kristi is a very,
excuse me for just a moment.
okay.
I'll be right back. Okay, here I am.
Ah, there he is. He's back.
He's back.
So the reason why we have Maximus Decimus Meridius here joining us on the show is because so where we film this is downstairs, and we have a child, I guess you say, a child-proof baby gate to keep the dogs from coming downstairs, and it's not dog-proof.
No.
It's
He pushes it away somehow and gets his way down here by his mommy.
And he's tiny too, so he can just kind of fit through even the narrowest of gap. And he's such a mama's boy. So
okay. So back to Disney.
So as long as he's being held, he's okay. So anyway, we're planning this trip and have been planning it for a while. And you've come across some ways to kind of maximize your dollar if you're headed to Disneyland, Disney World, like to go see Galaxy's Edge. So tell me and tell us a couple things that you found on how to save money and make that dollar stretch.
So we are staying off-site, but we're not far off-site. So we're about 3 miles from the actual entrance of Disney. Turns out we're like 1.5 miles from the parking lot, but there's a lot of parking lots. So
we've been to we've been to Disney World before, and there's a ton of parking lot, and so like you said, you may be half mile away or 1.5 miles away from the hotel, but it's another mile away from the front gate. Right,
and so we're ending up renting a car, which is going to cost us a little extra, but in the long run, it's going to save us a lot of money from staying on the property. So I was able to find a Marriott Town Place Suites, which has 2 rooms and the living room, dining room, kitchenette.
Okay.
We have 5 people going with us, and so $190 a night for 5 people. So I feel like that is a really great savings, probably from about $450 a night staying on the park, on the property.
And that's one of the things that when you go to the parks, you're going to have to kind of weigh the pros and cons. Yes, if you stay on site, you get in an hour earlier, but you could be saving a lot of money too.
Right. And this hotel actually has a continental breakfast, which with our son-in-law will actually save a ton
our
of
son
money.
And son-in-law who are ravenous eaters.
We're hoping that they'll stock up early and not want to eat at the park.
So that provides you a free, one free meal.
Yeah.
Now, eating inside the park can get a little expensive.
Yeah, so I was just reading today that they raised the prices, and a lunch is about $60 for an adult and $40 for a child. Wow. And that lunch sizes are more like snack sizes than they are like an actual meal. So we're going to actually, when we get into Orlando late that night, we're going to run to Walmart and grab some stuff for peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and we'll rent ourselves a locker. We'll have granola bars and different things like that in there that we can keep visiting the locker and have little snacks along the way.
Now, we're not saying don't eat at the park, but just maybe limit yourself to maybe 1 meal while you're there, because it can really cost a lot.
Right, and I think it'll be kind of fun.
$35 turkey leg, that's just a lot of money for a turkey leg.
I think it'll be fun to research some of the different restaurants around and just see if there's something like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives has done a show at that might be fun to eat at. Nice. So we've done that in the past with some of our trips.
Yep.
So.
Take a water bottle with you.
Yeah, a water bottle for sure. So, and I think, like for myself, I love cupcakes. So I have found that they have a Sprinkles cupcake shop there. Ooh. And so I will definitely be spending the $8 or whatever it is to have a cupcake
for the one cupcake
at Disney World.
And that's the kind of nice things too, is plan a budget. Don't go in just willy-nilly, because you do want to stretch your dollar. And believe me, between all the souvenirs and lightsabers, you'll have more money for that if you, you're being so good, buddy. If you just take a couple tips, and of course there's always great websites out there that do a lot of visiting to the Disney parks properties that'll show you how to stretch that dollar too.
Right. What's the last thing we're going to talk about? I thought there was one more thing.
Well, I think we're good.
Yeah, so anyway, we're looking forward to it, and I think, so at this point I've spent about $5,500. It is our Christmas present to the kids. And so for 5 people, for $5,500 for a 5-day trip, visiting 3 parks, including airfare. Granted, we have told the kids that they are paying for their own food and their own souvenirs.
They are all gainfully employed, so you're responsible for for your eating.
But Matt, he has to keep saving his pennies for the $600 lightsaber.
Just 3 of them.
You'll want the $600 one, which
Oh man, I don't know. Anyway, so that's part of our planning. We'll have one more episode of the Cantina of Comics. We'll let you in on some other tips and tricks and savings as we get closer to the big day. And then of course, you know, when we come back, it's just going to be all vacation photos.
Yeah, we'll probably come back with Mickey Mouse ears, like Star Wars, like a Millennium Falcon in the middle of mouse ears.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of the Cantina of Comics. If you tried one of our drinks, if you have a suggestion for a new drink for us to mix, and just go ahead and leave it in the comments. Let us know what you think of the Skywalker Slammer, and just, you know, let us know how cute Maximus is,
Max
because he's
yawning. He's a little
just
bored.
adorable.
He thinks this is kind of boring. We'll just put him on Mommy's shoulder. Go sleepy.
Oh, not over the microphone.
I know. He's covering the microphone.
Okay. Leave us a comment down below, and then you can also like this video. You can subscribe to Utini, and then click the bell for notifications on any time Utini posts a new video. So on behalf of Kristi, I'm Matt.
Sorry,
keep on drinking and keep on reading. Thud. What do you think about that thud, Max?
So when you want to clink the bottom. There! That's a little
bit better.
Yeah.
Not by much. A little bit better.